What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with RK Outpost, and we have talked a lot over the past week about the Kenobi series and the drama surrounding it. And of course, we heard reports of problems with it, and the media has done a couple whiplashes. First, they all ran with a report about it being canceled, and they said, oh no, that was absolutely ridiculous. It was this parody account, and if you want to know more about that, you can watch the couple videos on my channel that I will link in the description where we've talked about this before. And finally, yesterday, they came out and said, several official reports said, well, it's actually being delayed due to script problems with the scripts. Now, Ewan McGregor, the man himself, was finally asked about it directly, and he finally gave us an answer. You can see by the headline, Star Wars Ewan McGregor says Obi-Wan Kenobi drama is BS. Now, that's not totally true, because unfortunately for Ewan, in his answer, although at first he does say it's BS, he then goes on to describe basically exactly the problems, that there's an issue with the scripts and that they're being reworked and that the film is being delayed. So we'll go through his answer, and again, you have a problem of reporters asking the wrong questions, so we will get into that. Refuting reports that Obi-Wan is indefinitely delayed, Ewan McGregor says online drama surrounding the live-action Star Wars series is BS. Speaking at the premiere for Birds of Prey, his new movie, not super excited about it, but McGregor clarified the shooting start simply has been pushed from August to next January, so it's been delayed 6 months. Adding reported clashes over creative differences are not true. And again, those creative differences, that is the thing that people are talking about that actually did come from the parody account, the creative differences part. That was this fake discussing films Twitter account that made up a troll tweet that said creative differences. What everyone was actually talking about, the actual real reports that were coming out, were that there were going to be delays in production due to the scripts. So again, I don't know if he was asked or if he said it himself, but anybody who's looked into this at all knows that that creative differences part isn't really a thing. You know, it's all about the scripts. It's all about the production delays. It's not to do with creative differences. Ensuing drama from confused reports are overblown. It's not nearly as dramatic as it sounds online, said McGregor, who added Disney-owned Lucasfilm pushed the shoot to beginning of next year. Now, if you remember, it was originally, when they came out and told us, they said the scripts are done and we begin filming next year. Originally, people thought it was earlier next year. Then they pushed that back to August. Now they have pushed that back again, according to Ewan McGregor, to next January. And here's his reason. The scripts are really good. I saw 90% of the writing. I really liked it. All this BS about creative difference, all that stuff, none of it's true. We just pushed the dates. Last episode, episode 9, came out, and everyone had more time to read the stuff that had been written, and they felt they wanted to do more work on it. So literally in your answer, you are confirming exactly what everyone is saying. He says, once Rise of Skywalker came out, everyone had more time to read the stuff that had been written, and they felt they wanted to do more work on it. So they've decided to delay it by 6 months to do that. They need to rework the scripts. That is what Ewan McGregor is telling everybody. And again, I just want to go back to this in August of last year at D23. This big announcement where they brought Ewan McGregor in there to officially say, hey, we're doing the Kenobi series, guys. Remember what was said by Kathleen Kennedy. Kennedy said, the scripts are written and we begin shooting next year. Can't wait to start production, and we have our Obi-Wan. So scripts are written. This was back in August 23rd. You told us the scripts were written. And I mean, if we want, we can just hear it. We could do that. Because I think I have it here. Let's see what Kathleen Kennedy says. It's only 3 seconds. It's only 3 seconds.
And we are really close. We have all the scripts written. And we are really close. We have all the scripts written. And we are really close. We have all the scripts written. And we are really close. We have all the scripts written. And we are really close.
So back in August, back at D23, you say all the scripts are written, we're really close, all this stuff. But then 6 months later, you decide to delay production because you need to rework the scripts. So one, I'm kind of curious as to why none of these reworks were being done in the process. They're saying, Ewan McGregor said, well, after Rise of Skywalker, more people had time to look at it. Did more people get eyes on it and realize that it wasn't good? Like, what exactly is the story? Why wasn't anyone looking at this before? Now, there are some other reports out there that Ewan McGregor said, I've never heard about that. There's some reports about them potentially shifting it from 6 episodes to 4 episodes. Those are a little sketchier, so I'm not really going to talk about those in detail, but they are out there. That would be pretty crazy if they did that. 6 episodes is pretty short as it is. To break it down to 4 would be crazy. Basically, might as well make it a movie at that point, which is another rumor out there. Again, those are just really like out there rumors. What Kathleen Kennedy and what she is saying and what is going on with production has caused more people, again, to come out there and say that they want Kathleen Kennedy to be fired. Now, I don't think that just because a bunch of people on Twitter scream like that someone should be fired, that they should be fired. You know, I don't think that Disney should, or I don't think that any company should sit there and like give into to people calling for someone's job without reason. I think you have to look at reason. And for Kathleen Kennedy, I think there is very good reason. We've talked about a lot on this channel. A lot of other channels have talked about it. That her performance, the drama behind the scenes, the underperformance of this last part of the sequel trilogy, the failure of Solo, I think when it all comes together, there needs to be a change. And obviously, I'm not the only person saying this. There's a lot of people saying it. However, Disney internally needs to look and realize this. But let's go through all the people that are saying they need her fired. Star Wars fans take to social media to offer up that they want Kathleen Kennedy fired after the big mess it is Ewan McGregor. Here we go. These are all we already talked about all this stuff. Following disappointments of the Disney Star Wars movies, particularly with Last Jedi and Disney Plus The Mandalorian series being so well received, fans were really looking forward to the upcoming Kenobi series, which Disney reportedly fast-tracked and will start filming on as early as this July. Now fans are disappointed with Disney Star Wars once again, particularly Kathleen Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy is currently trending on Twitter as Star Wars fans voice their frustrations. There's Stephen Wayne Art talking about Bob Iger should fire Kathleen Kennedy and scrap everything. Disney needs to get rid of Kathleen Kennedy. And this guy says, let me take control of Star Wars. Make the sequels not canon. More people saying she's poison for Star Wars. Subversive Jake. Kathleen Kennedy's unhappy with the scripts. Could literally be filled with no script at all and still end up better than The Last Jedi. Quarter Black Garrett saying, look at all these production things. Why is she not fired? Star Wars Twitter, the day Kathleen Kennedy's contract expires. That's pretty good. Yeah, everybody's celebrating. Everyone when Kathleen Kennedy puts Obi-Wan Kenobi on hold indefinitely. So many funny things. This one really got to me right here. Just a reminder that Kathleen Kennedy says that Star Wars lacks source material to work with. And then, of course, a picture of so much of the expanding universe. A lot of things that are also sitting here behind me in my book collection. You know, Kathleen Kennedy saying that we have no source material. How could we possibly be expected to do what Marvel can do? That, to me, is a huge part, too. The fact that she's so willingly either ignorant or lying about the source material thing. We know Bob Iger was aware of all the expanded universe when they took over. He made comments about it, how many characters and how many planets there were in the Star Wars expanded universe that they would have to work with. And then, Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm made the decision to sweep it away. Which, that's their decision to make. But in retrospect, looking back at it, everything that has happened since then, it seems like they may have made their first misstep right there. And then more just Kathleen Kennedy should be fired. Kathleen Kennedy should be fired, of course. Again, just because a bunch of people get on Twitter and say something, to me, doesn't mean that person should lose their job. There's a bunch of people online saying that the president should lose their job for this or that, and they've been saying that for 4 years. I think that you need to look at it as a company and say, is this the right person for the job? And I think they can look at it and say, no. You have someone there right now who I think would be better, and that is Jon Favreau. I think Favreau would be perfect. Probably not. But I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that with what he's been able to do in the past, his experience in filmmaking, his experience in producing, that his experience showing us that he knows a lot about Star Wars and he cares about Star Wars. You know, even if I'm not the biggest fan of The Mandalorian, there's no doubt that a lot of attention, love was put into it by him and Filoni. So I think that Favreau would be clearly a step up from her, and they cannot let, in my mind, Lucasfilm cannot let her go forward helming this next stage of Star Wars. They need to make a change right now so that they start out fresh and they start out right with this new project, all these new movies that are supposedly coming down to fix all these problems with the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. But that's just my opinion. Like I said, Lucasfilm needs to look for themselves. But what do you guys think? I think I know what most people will say. Do you think Kathleen Kennedy should be fired? Not just for this, but for everything else. And do you think that Ewan McGregor in his comments basically confirmed the reports? Again, the creative differences was never really a report. It was always about the problems with the scripts and the problems in production, not really about this creative differences thing. So do you think that his comments basically confirmed it? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video, ring the bell for notifications, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.